So while this is technically called IPA Level 3, and we're going to be building on IPA and specifically the application of IPA, because IPA is an incredible tool, but if we have a tool but we don't know how to use that tool, we just know what the tool is, then the tool is really, there's just like an ornament. It's just ornamental. So the IPA is beautiful, the IPA is accurate, the IPA is so wonderful. But on IPA level 2 and 3, we've been looking at making the IPA useful. So in IPA level 2, we focused on IPA for designing treatment plans and also understanding the bypass of the critical faculty. And that was very helpful. But now we're going to be taking the application of IPA level 3 even further to be looking at resistance. So we're going to be consolidating some principles from IPA 1. We're going to be consolidating the extraction method. We're going to be consolidating, looking at our treatment plans. But most of all, we're going to be looking at understanding resistance. So why do some clients resist change? How to diagnose the interactional components of that resistance, give language to it, so that we can come up with a meaningful plan of action to work with clients that have resistance, so that we are working smart and not working hard. When I was trained at UNISA, the focus very strongly at that time was on strategic interactional psychotherapy, but what was missing was IPA and person-centered interviewing. So we were expected from the first contact with the client to go in and be strategic, which actually meant just being like an asshole to your client, right? That's what strategic looked like. Just be mean to your client, just be an asshole. And it was very overwhelming and daunting, and I didn't really know what to do and how. And realizing that later, the most strategic thing you can do is to know your client very well. The most strategic thing you can do is to remain person-centered. The most strategic thing you can do is have a beautiful conceptual framework to describe your client so that you can see your client clearly and accurately. And then after that, you then know in what way should you be an asshole in order to be the most effective in creating change for this client. Where can you be a little bit spicy? Where do you need to be a little bit in your shadow? Where do you need to be a little bit strategic? And then it doesn't actually feel that, my client used the word assholic. It doesn't feel that assholic anymore. But it feels a little bit playful. It can be a lot of fun. And I really love those opportunities of being a little bit more strategic, because it does give you an opportunity to play in your shadow a little bit. But it's always, always, always with the foundation of person-centeredness, which holds the utmost regard for the humanity of the client. So if we don't have that and we start to be strategic, then we can actually just be really awful. And I think if you watch movies and TV series, when they go to a therapist, the therapist is always in that sort of strategic role, right? Of just saying it how it is and being quite mean to the client. But without the build-up of the relationship, without credits in the bank, without knowing exactly when, how, and to what purpose you're being strategic, your clients will actually just leave therapy. They don't do that in the movies because that wouldn't be very good entertainment, but that will happen in real life. So I'm looking forward to demystifying strategic interactional therapy and looking at meaningful second-order change, which is very exciting. So that's a little bit of the broad introduction of why IPA Level 3, which actually the subtitle is Strategic Interactional Psychotherapy. We're going to be looking a little bit at the history of it, understanding it, unpacking it, and then specific useful strategies of identifying and planning for this particular client's resistance. And you're going to get resistance across the board, no matter what context, no matter what clients you're working with. You're going to get resistance across the board, whether you're a therapist or you're a teacher or you're an insurance salesman. You're going to meet with resistance because people do resist change as part of being a system. So we're going to be looking at that.